right, so here we are out on a beautiful spring day with Ruby and just kind of finishing up our training day with a little visit to the park. She's always super around kids, just a gentle giant when it comes to kids. Good girl, Ruby. Good.
What a beautiful dog.
Thank you. You are a beautiful dog. And as I said, you could just see she's what I call bulletproof when it comes to, kids. It's just really just outstanding. It's other dogs that we're looking forward to working more around. It's the one thing that really gets her excited and distracted, and ultimately she doesn't have any bad intentions behind that excitement. However, with the energy that she has and the size that she has, that excitement can turn into problems for humans. She's strong. She could pull on the leash and maybe even knock somebody down. So we're trying to desensitize her to the stimulus of other dogs, letting her understand that you can look but not touch sometimes. You don't always have to say hi. You don't always have to play. There are going to be dogs in the park that you'll meet that have other things on their mind and places to go. Good, Ruby. Good heel. That's right. Good. There's a dog up ahead, but they're going the same directions we are, so unless we're able to catch up, we may not see that one. There's another one coming our way though, so yes, we are going to have some doggy action here, and this will give me an opportunity to kind of show you where we're working. And one of my favorite techniques when a dog is really excited is to get off the path a little bit, have them do the sit command, which is really probably the easiest one to reinforce, and then use my body to kind of block her vision if need be as that dog passes by us. So I don't know if you can see in the video yet, this dog getting ready to come this direction, and it's very excitable too. I can just see that it also has that same curiosity. So indeed, we'll definitely get off the trail here a little bit. Heel. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Sit, Ruby. Good. Good girl, Ruby. Very nice. Good dog. Excellent. Yeah, that was a good job. Good job. Really nice. So she didn't even break the sit. That's a big improvement over just a couple of training sessions. And again, she's really good with kids, strollers, even joggers, bicycles, rollerblades. Heel. We get to see a lot of good stuff out here, and the only thing that we're still really working on is this dog thing that's getting better and better. So I can tell we're going to get a chance to see this other dog up ahead here a little bit. Good girl, Ruby. Heel. Good. That's it. Good girl. Come on. You can tell by her body language, she already spots our next dog. Good. And they're moving away. Good girl. Come on. That's it. You. I guess she didn't want to let us practice around her dog, and I don't know that she even noticed, to be honest, but they gone. Heel. No, heel. No, heel. But even so, as far away as they are, you can see by Ruby's whole focus that, no, heel. She's not looking where we're going. She's looking back where that dog went. And you just make a correction and tell her no, heel at that time. Trying to really, no, heel. Get her to get over it. You know, just forget about it. As my mom used to say, don't even think about it. How do moms always know that you're thinking something bad? Good girl. Good. No, heel. No, heel. So heel is such a specific position, and really the most focus that we ask from a dog is during the heel command. We really want them to stay with us step for step. Ideally, her right paw should fall right in step with my left foot, and that's the ultimate heel position. We're really close to that now. Good girl. We're gonna do a little traffic crossing here. Definitely want to utilize that heel command during high danger times and high distraction times. Good girl. Very nice. Yeah, really good job across there. A lot of traffic today. And we'll just end this with a little sit position here. Sit. That's a good job. And now we're going to reward her with a little release. So when I say okay, now we're in that off-leash mode where the only rule is she can't get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. She doesn't have to maintain the heel position, so she's starting to get up ahead of me a little bit, which is absolutely fine. At this stage, we're just enjoying our walk together, and again, the only rule is what we call the unspoken rule. The unspoken command is this concept that a dog should learn never to try to get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. And we've had some great opportunities just this morning. Didn't have the camera going, but even squirrels on our morning walk this morning that were running just really not too far from her. She saw them, she perked up, and she took a couple steps forward, but she didn't get to the end of the leash. So that's a really good sign that our training is taking hold, and it won't be long before we're going to be able to get her back on a coupler with her companion dog named Ottis, another Rottweiler that we've trained previously to Ruby. It's a little bit older, and they got Ottis first, and now Ruby is in her training and just doing a super job. Just really, it's got a nice temperament. Eager to please. She's very affectionate to people that she knows and trusts. And always kind of looking to make a new friend too. So she's an outgoing personality and a supportive personality kind of combined there. We call them dogalities, not personalities, for obvious reasons. But yeah, she's outgoing as well as supportive. And that's a really nice combination for a family that has kids and likes to travel and do things together. It's a great combination with that outgoing side being fun-loving and adventurous, and then you've got that supportive side being, you know, emotionally sensitive and eager to please. So I think as far as the dogalities that they have between Ottis and her, it's a really great combination. They're going to have many years of good times and good memories being made as these dogs are reaching their prime and the kids are getting old enough to go and have fun at the lake. And these dogs will be not only fun to have around, but good protectors as well. Keeping an eye on the kids and maybe saving them from a stray dog, or who knows. But it's always nice to have dog friends around watching your back. Whether you're 6 or 60, it's a good feeling to have a dog by your side that is watching out for you. All right. We'll show you the down command here. Get her a little bit of grass that's above the flood line here. We've had a lot of rain in the last few days, so this side of the trail is going to be really wet. This side of the trail, however, might be a good spot to show you this down command. We're just going to lead her off the path here a little bit. Well, she'll be a little bit more comfortable on the grass. Ruby, sit. Good girl. Ruby, down. If she doesn't, we're just going to say no, down. There she goes. If she didn't, even after the verbal correction, I would have just used my foot and stepped down on the line a little bit there to help her into that down position. But now we'll see if she can hold as this person just kind of walks by her and as I kind of walk around her a little bit. No, down. Good girl. Good girl. That's a good dog. I don't know, sometimes people may not like to be on camera, so I'm not going to point it right at them, but they'll come into view here. Good girl. Well, thank you so much. Good girl, Ruby. Very nice. And now we'll just give the release word. Okay. And of course that means she can stop laying down and go right back into that unspoken command mode where we're just enjoying a walk together and just kind of connected loosely by not only the leash but by our relationship that's developed over the course of the training. And you know, that's as a dog trainer the biggest perk I get. I mean, yes, I enjoy being paid to be a dog trainer. That definitely helps and, you know, pays the bills and all that is good. But really the most rewarding part as a dog trainer is this just feeling of contentment that you get as you start to enjoy the connection with another, you know, soul, kind of, with the dog that you're training. And you could just sense that, you know, of course in the beginning there's not a lot of familiarity and low resistance and they don't quite understand, but as you get to this part in the training and we're kind of finishing up our program here today, and you just start to really enjoy just the connection, just this idea that I can trust her and I know that she's gonna, you know, be steady and predictable around just about everything at this stage. Even the dogs are really coming together. I would say, you know, for the owners, they'll have to, you know, continue to take her out solely by themselves and develop this level of control over her on a single leash before we go back to the coupler, which is a really cool thing to have. Ultimately, you know, you've got two dogs that are connected together by a line, and then that same line is connected to a single leash, and so you have, you know, two dogs on your side instead of one. Double the pleasure, double the fun, but also, you know, double the distraction level and maybe even a little bit of the risk. If the two of them were to decide to take off together, I don't know, too many humans are going to stop them. So we really want to make sure that each are really predictable, dependable solo, and then we go back to the coupler and work them together a little bit more. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I know I have. We're going to finish up our walk here, maybe show you her loading into the van on command, go a little bit over that again, And yeah, as always, we wish you happy training. Happy training. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Ruby, sit. So we just start with a sit command, then we're going to make sure she holds until we give the release word to get into the crate stay. Good. Hup. Atta girl. Very nice. Just like that. Good job. Good job. Atta girl. All right. You're next, Oscar. You're next, buddy. All right, so we're working Otis and Ruby together today on a coupler, as you can see. And there are really a couple different modes of operation when it comes to working with a coupler. Very similar to when you're working with just a single dog on a leash. The unspoken command is still in effect, and that one, as always, just simply means that a dog should never get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. And now that we have two dogs, all the more reason not to get to the end of the line. And so I'm constantly reminding them, like right there, just a quick little tug back as Otis was getting a little bit too fast and too far ahead, making sure that they're staying with a loose leash. And this will continue to be necessary as far as reminders go for probably the whole summer as they just start to experience more and more summer-like activities. And we've already seen a number of those in training. Bicycles, joggers, scooters, mothers with baby strollers, all those kinds of things are commonplace. And the more you go out and explore, the more you'll find out there, especially for people that enjoy lake type activities. Typically those types of environments are super high in distraction levels, and so we just have to try to prepare them best we can for those types of distractions. When it comes to each individual dog in the team here, Otis to our right is much less reactive toward other dogs than Ruby to our left, and it could be an age thing. Otis is a bit older and Ruby is I think just a little over a year at this point. Good dogs. So she's just a little bit more excitable when she sees other dogs, but as you can see, when people pass, they're both really neutral toward people, and that's a great thing. You know, children, they're not only neutral toward, but I would say exceptionally good around, and that's probably because they have known little children at home, twin children at home that are still very young, and so I think they're just naturally very gentle and very sweet around children especially. But humans in general are, you know, something that they're neutral around, and we don't really have to worry too much about them getting too overstimulated when it comes to people, even people that are jogging, and as I've seen bicyclists and even scooters. Maybe the scooter was a little bit exciting for them, not to the point where it was really any kind of concern. The things that do trigger, especially Ruby, are other dogs especially. She's not aggressive toward. In fact, if anything, she's just guilty of being too excited and wanting to play really, really badly. So she's outgoing. She's enjoying the idea of getting to know and play with other dogs. So it's not so much an aggression thing as it is an excitement thing. Sit. Good dogs. How's it going? Good.
Good. Good dogs there.
Thank you. Okay, good dogs. It's always nice to hear somebody say, I don't know if you could hear on the microphone, he says, those are some good dogs there. So as you saw, I had them sit, not so much for the camera as for the application there. If your dogs are getting excitable, that is the first and strongest command to give. So at any time, if we were to see somebody walking with other dogs, I might even try to get off the path a little bit with them and have them sit off path. That's the easiest one to enforce if need be, and it's the easiest one for them to do. So you saw they did a really good job holding that sit as that guy passed by us.
All right, guys. Well, my microphone died at this point, so there was no more audio. I'm just going to talk over some of this footage and just hope that you enjoy the setting. It was a real beautiful day that we had with us today here in Indiana. You can see as they're noticing these people walking ahead of us, they're aware, but not at all excited. So, some dogs, that's their trigger. They're going to see strange people and want to go over and get pets and say hello, and that could be a bit of a challenge to keep dogs under control whenever there's new people around. But in their case, there's some light level of curiosity, but certainly no high level of excitement. This particular area is a park. The asphalt portion is probably only about 5 foot wide, so there isn't a ton of space to train in, but it's wooded, as you can see, and it's really beautiful, full of wildlife. There's squirrels all through these woods, and opportunities to train is what I call that, to get a dog to work through distractions, is to kind of desensitize them to those distractions to where you don't have to worry about them getting into any trouble when they see them again. So whenever you get the opportunity to see a squirrel or a rabbit or a deer or a duck or a goose or other dogs, especially for them, you just want to take those opportunities to do a sit command, praise them as they work through that, and correct them if they start to break the command. You can also do it through the heel command, and even to the point where we could do it on this lightweight or long line type of thing like we're doing today. So again, this unspoken command allows for them to be out in front of me as they are, and you could see that there's a good gap between them, given by the coupler there. That coupler is adjustable, so you can make it so that that gap between them is much less, kind of like where they're standing now. You can cinch that coupler up to where they don't have the room to go away from each other like they do right there. And the reason I keep it long like that is if they do have to potty, that gives them kind of a chance to kind of get away from one another and do their bit of business there. Once I'm sure that they're finished with all that, I can cinch that up and then even do a nice heel command if need be. And you'll find that that just keeps them a little easier to control. So if there's a lot of distraction, people and dogs and animals and stuff, it's easier to keep control if you shorten those distances between them so that they're really closer. You'll see here in a little bit, I do just that. So I'm gonna, on the way back from our walk, cinch those lines tighter, and you'll see that that makes them much easier to control. I think at this point in the video, I was just kind of describing how it's such a neat feeling to have two big, strong dogs like this walking with you, and how I, enjoy this peaceful environment and nature and all that. But I would also feel quite comfortable walking down any dark alley with the two of them in front of me as well. So it makes you feel protected. I remember that. I don't know what that was, whether a bug got her or whatever. Did you see her just jump straight up like that? What an athlete. I don't know what spooked her, and she didn't seem harmed by anything. Like she didn't get stung or anything, but whether she stepped on something or maybe a bug hopped on her foot, she jumped straight up in the air. That was pretty awesome. So she didn't do that again through the rest of the walk, but that was something else. All right, so here we have this gentleman walking back by them again, and very casual interest, really no distraction whatsoever. That's really going to be great for uh, them both, wherever you guys may go. Here you can see now I've got the coupler cinched up, and you can see already that how much closer they are staying together, and this works really well, especially when there's a lot of distraction or danger, like crossing busy roads and things like that. Whenever you're doing the coupler, for some teams of dogs, it's really important to make sure one stays in toward the inside and one is on the outside. I didn't see that to be much of an issue for these two, so we tried, with Otis to the inside, which is where we're at there, and they did well. And then I tried with Ruby to the inside, and they did well. So you may find later that for whatever reason, they do better with one or the other being towards your inside and the other being to the outside. But again, I didn't see that for myself, so I'm not sure that will ever be an issue for you. All right, so up ahead, I see a gentleman coming with two dogs. And so I'm turning back around, and this is a really strategic move. We had just passed this little area where I could have dipped into and let a big distraction go by us. So you'll see me turn into that little area here. It's also paved with asphalt, just a nice little turn in. There's a bench back there that people can sometimes sit in and watch watch the river down there. But for here, we're just gonna get this off the path a little. We're just going to get them off the path a little bit, and we're going to let this distraction go by us. The sit command is always the easiest to do when it comes to reinforcing command. Uh, so there's heel commands, down command, come command, sit command, all these different words, but the sit is probably the easiest to reinforce. I've got my button out there. That's only on Ruby, and only if she needs to be calmed down if she gets overstimulated. But once again, even though you'll see these dogs were very animated, Ruby did a fantastic job. I didn't have to use the button at all. She held her sit command, and all I had to do was praise. Look at that. Awesome job, guys. You just can't ask better. So that was fantastic. And if they do as well for you, the owners, as they do for me there, I think my job is complete with this part of their training. Awesome work there. Back on the path, and you'll notice that Ruby isn't even looking back like she had at the other park that we were at the day before. She was, really still distracted, even not even getting that close to the other dog, looking back over her shoulder and not wanting to get back into the heel position. But with Otis by her side, having had another day of training in her with me, she's doing fantastic. Well, that's about it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. We finished up the walk and loaded up them into the van. Everything I do transition wise, comes with strategic healthy habits is what we talk about. So having them sit before you open your car door, making them hold to sit until you give them permission to get in. I use the word hup. It's just like HUP, hup. You could just say up. It's the same thing to them, and that's their word to get in. So really, when it comes to transitions, whether that's going out the front door or coming in the front door, whether that's getting in a vehicle or getting out of a vehicle, whether that's crossing the road, any transition times, you want to think about healthy habits. And so we just do a sit, make sure they hold. I can open one door or the other and tell the dog that is ready to go, hup. I just release them from the coupler and I keep the other one on. And then once that one's in, shut the door and then release the coupler from the other and say hup. And now they're both in and we just take off and leave. So wasn't able to get that on video for you, but in person, I'd be happy to show that to you. And we will look forward to training more with you and with them and seeing them and you enjoying life together. And to the rest of you, I hope you enjoyed watching Otis and Ruby doing their coupler work today. And we wish you happy training in your own lives.